Today in our / malicious compliance. You can stand for one stop. Okay. Alright, so this happened just under 2 years ago. I was living in night. I was on the younger side of what the public expects to see for a cane user, and other than having the cane, I don't look disabled. Also, just because I know it's going to be asked, I have the cane because of hypermobility issues that have basically lead to my joints not functioning as they should. Essentially, it helps keep me from falling randomly over straining my already taxed muscles. Also, those of you who have ridden on Nike subways might know this already, but every Nike subway car has seats that are designated as handicapped. These seats are to be vacated and given to anyone disabled, elderly, pregnant, injured, etc. You can definitely sit there if you aren't handicapped in some way, but it's a fine if you don't give up your seat when someone who needs it comes along. There's actually nothing other than manners forcing you to give up your seat in the rest of the train. That said, even in night, most people tend to automatically offer up a seat when they see a cane. Night subways are especially brutal on my condition if I have to stand. The constant, unpredictable need to shift my weight leaves my muscles in agony after even a short ride. I always tried to board by the handicapped seats. That way I at least wasn't putting someone out. In the regular ones, a lot of folks will pretend not to see, but eventually they realize you caught them staring and they offer up the seat. One day I got on the train at Columbus Circle heading north after a long day of work. The train was pretty crowded and every seat was full. A guy sitting in one of the handicapped seats saw me and jumped up. The young lady standing in front of him hadn't seen me and sat down. This happens sometimes. Women assuming they were being given the seat by a chivalrous man, but most women would see me and realize what had happened. The lady saw me just as the man gives her a oof look. I hadn't planned on saying anything cause invisible disabilities are a thing and I tend to freeze with confrontation anyway. But I must have had a puzzled look or something cause the lady goes, "Someone else can give you a seat." I look around. Every other handicapped seat is occupied by someone who obviously needs it, elderly, pregnant, etc. So I just say, well, they re all people who are supposed to be sitting in these seats. It's a fine if you sit here and aren't handicapped, while someone who is doesn't have a seat. I was still tired and a bit startled to be pulled into a confrontation. Lady, well then it's a fine for all of them. She points to the regular seats. Me, just the ones with those signs. I point to the sign directly above her head declaring the seats as handicapped. Lady, well you can stand for one stop. Now, I could have probably gotten a regular seat from someone nicer than this woman, but the subway had already started moving at this point, and I needed to hold on. Well, I'm stubborn and petty, so I stand in the crowded car, right in front of her, my cane an inch from her kneecap for the express trip from 59th to 125th. Those of you who have experienced the joy of an express night subway train ride, you know they are not gentle. They speed along, bouncing, swaying, and jostling without a care in the world. I am in agony in no time flat, but I'm not the only one. Every jerk of the subway car sends my cane hard into this lady's kneecap. I don't have to intentionally do anything more than stand there. Actually, I'm trying to stay as immobile as possible, but this particular operator is driving like he's late for his own wedding. She tries to shift, but I really am all up in her business. We get to 125th, and she tries to stand, but I don't move. She did want me to stand after all. She eventually shoves past me up out of her seat. I'm fine cause the car is too crowded for me to fall or anything, but doesn't make it out of the car in time. By that time, I've gratefully taken the seat she vacated, so she has to stand until we get to 145th. At that point, she got off, I assumed to get on going the other direction, and I never saw her again. Edit. I guess it's not clear in my post, but I'm a woman. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, smash the bell, and whatever else our YouTube overlords require nowadays.